Alrighty, so this is week 5 of this program. Let's start off with some breathing and mindfulness about the posture, the work ahead, letting go of other things that might be on our mind, focusing on yourself. Give yourself a virtual high five for landing here. Some nice deep breaths in, long, slow exhale, adjusting anything through your posture that doesn't feel quite right. So you can just relax and focus on the breath. And we'll slowly transition over to hands and knees and start working the spine through cat-cow or flexion extension. It's taking some time to spread my fingers and adjust my shoulders, hands and knees wide enough that I can just easily move through my back, dropping the front side down, just gently drawing the shoulder blades together, looking up, trying not to force any extremes. You can tuck your toes as you round your back up to the roof, gently pressing through your toes and your hands. And let your head be heavy and stretch. A little check-in. How are things feeling? Take it easy on yourself. Listen to your body as you go through moves. Next up, we'll sit the hips back towards the heels a little bit. Bring the hands together. And then just really slowly taking one hand off and rotating up to the roof. I'm gently pushing this hand into the floor, so I get a little bit more rotation, and try to hold the up position for a couple of seconds, kind of feeling out my shoulder blade and my connection of my arm, not just kind of letting it sort of just like be anywhere. I'm trying to sort of pull it in and create some connection. Get back to that slow breathing. And just do one or two more, even yourself out. And once you feel you're even, let's take it to side lying hip circles. And just taking some time to lie down and stack the knees and feet, rolling the top hip forward. And then when you're ready, taking the top leg off and circling it around to where you can access, going nice and slow, like you could almost stop at any time. Some good nasal breathing would be a good addition. A couple circles in each direction. Then we'll do some side plank resets before we switch over. That feels particularly good today. All right, so side plank, no shoulder shrug, right? So you want to center this shoulder joint, stacking the knees and feet, just coming up and forward with your hips. Now you could take it to arm up or leg up, but just be mindful this is a hinge. So I'll sit back, show you from the side, come up and forward with my position, and then I sit my hips back. 2 or 3 resets per side. I'll do one more facing. Just making sure that as you come up, the shoulder feels okay. If this is as far as you want to go, you don't have to add the arm and leg. And hey, if the shoulder doesn't feel right, just leave the hips on the ground and create some connection through the shoulder. Get some strengthening there without moving your body weight up and into it. Other side, hip carves. Get that breathing going. So good. And then repeat what you did on side 1 with the side plank. You can hold it a little longer if you were to be doing the tape and you want to go a little longer than I'm showing, that's fine too. Time under tension, but just keeping the posture and the breath and setting and resetting is a nice challenge. We're going to go into bridges with the option of putting a loop band on. And if you don't have a loop band, or you'd rather keep it with a little less resistance, then very worthy either way. So onto your back, this is the 1.5 bridge. So what I mean by that is that you come up into full hip extension, down halfway, and then back up to full hip extension, and then come down. Now, because I have the band on, I can also push my knees out and create some tension right up in through my hips, pushing out and then resetting. Now, you might be able to get through a few reps without letting the knees come in and relax, and it just depends on the tension of your band and how hard you're finding this strength-wise through your hips. Up to 10 of these 1.5 cycles. Aligning the neck by bringing the chin down. If you have a big curve in your low back, you want to just make it a slightly smaller curve so your rib cage feels integrated into your torso and you're not coming back up with a big arch in your back. So if you need to do that tuck and that recheck every time, then I suggest you do. After you've finished your 10 cycles, we'll turn to the side. And I'm going to start us today with just knee-only clamshells. So rolling onto your side, making sure this top hip is rolled slightly forward, feet are relaxed. And we'll do 10. Take some time to work the up phase and the down phase. So try to work tension up, tension down, relax, up and down. So if you're going too fast, it tends to just be constant tension and you kind of let gravity pull your leg down, but see if you can work the hip up and work the hip down. Excellent. Okay, after 10, switch sides. Pretty sure I didn't do 10 there. Up phase, down phase. Nice deep nasal breathing. Make it a core exercise as well. Excellent. After you've done your 10 there, just stay on this side and we'll come up to the side plank again and go through 3 resets of a side plank with a clamshell. You could sit back every time, making sure that this shoulder is well set up. Just open up that hip. Now you're going to start to feel that work really targeted. Get in through here. And we'll switch sides. Focus on that hip strength. Come back down, reset. Excellent. Okay, so take the band off and we're going to go into down dog, alternating with a plank and a plank lower. So first off, down dog, just tucking my back toes and then bringing my hips up, pushing back into my heels. I can weight shift forward, try to get some bend in all my toes. Can do that a few times, lengthening the upper back. I like to think of bringing my armpits to my feet and to try and sink into that. Here's a plank hold, spreading the fingers, activating the hip muscles, going back to the deep nasal breathing. And you can either lower from the plank or drop to your knees and lower yourself down to the floor. And I'll just take some time to come up and stretch out the wrists a little bit. Your wrists, a few turns. You can stretch the wrists, a few different angles, palms up. Ooh, that always feels so good. And then we'll do one more of these down dogs. So tucking the toes, anti-shrug the shoulders, getting some stretch through my heels and my calves, coming forward into my toes. Two or 3 times. Feel free to take a break between that and the plank if you wish. Get your best plank position possible. I'm pushing the floor away, centering my shoulders. My head hasn't dropped. The activation of my hips. Pull your hands towards your toes and push your toes into the floor. And then when you're ready to lower, you're pulling yourself down to the floor. Okay, I'm going to do some ankle work and knee bends today. And this one's for me. Okay, no, I kind of joke, but I've had a little thing going on with my knee and it's really doing a lot better. But taking the time to warm up properly and go through my sequence of knee flexion, give my knee a hug, pull it up to my shoulder. I even get a nice little stretch through my hip and low back. And then here's my extension without locking my kneecap or jamming my leg, but getting all the tissues to the back of my leg under stretch. After about 5 of those, just hold that position, open the toes and start to move the ankle, pointing the toes to the roof and pulling them down to the shin. Check that your leg is straight. Sometimes just a little movement of trying to straighten out to the best of your ability. You can feel that in my hip, nice and deep and straight leg, and I get more stretch feedback with my body through my calf when I do that. Here's the ankle rolls, keeping the leg as still as possible. Sole of the foot in and out, trying to isolate the ankle joint and not moving the rest of the leg. And then some slow circles. And then let's take the leg across the body, keeping this hip on the floor. So stretching right leg, right hip on the floor. I'm only bringing it across body to where I can get a good stretch response without forcing anything. If you have your non-working leg bent, you're probably going to need to straighten that out in order to bring your leg across. And if you pull your toes down to your shin, you're going to get a more intense stretch. There we go. You could all hold the stretch like this, or you can pulse in and out. Both are going to be worthy of getting deep into your hip. And then switching sides and going through the setup again, from the posture to the knee hugs. I heard a podcast about injuries and being kind to your injuries and thinking of them more sort of as so integrated in, like, this is my knee that's been bothering me, so here you go. Just like, you're okay, you'll come around. It sounds a bit hokey, but I kind of believe it, actually. Just giving it some self-care and integrating it back into my life when I reached my capacity and had a little injury. That's not good. Okay, so there's my legs straight, spread the toes. When capacity is exceeded, we get injured. So I need to give myself bigger capacity and be mindful of the things I do in a row, not taking enough rest between activities, for example. We break down. It's the ankle rolls, and then the circles. And the cross hip. Oh yeah. Pull those toes down. Either hold or pulse in and out a few times. Always thinking about 4 out of 10 intensity. So if you find something that's really sensitive and it's like a lot more than that, try to back it off or adjust it down. Okay, so we'll come out of this, finishing off your stretch, and into standing. Start with calf raises. Option to do the calf raises with a ball between the heels. Spreading the toes, just taking some time to add the breath. So inhale with the heels on the ground and exhale as you lift, gently squeezing the ball. If you have high arches or tend to cramp feet, you don't have to really squeeze in. But if I squeeze and kind of think about turning the soles of my feet in, that's going to help promote my arch of the foot. Same thing as when I roll my foot here out. You can look down and see when you roll your foot that your arch is created. So here we go. Just gently coming up and working all of the toes. Come up with the exhale. After you've done 6 to 10 of those, we'll just take a moment to tuck the foot back and stretch the front side of the ankle. You can just feel by pulling the front side forward or downward how much stretch you get through there. If you're very tight in the front of your ankle, you might find this will give you a foot cramp, so then just feather touch it. Don't give yourself a cramp. But that shows us that we're tight there. Now we go to extension reaches. So spreading the feet hip width or wider. Now I'm lifting my heels and trying to open my hands, open my shoulders, and gently look up. Oh, can I get a little bit more out of that? Wherever you are, let's do about 4 more. So reach, reach, reach. Control down, arms all the way back. That's looking good. And after your 4, I'll take us to some weight shifting side to side with a slight bend in the knee, opening the toes again, just making sure that you're not trying to get balance by locking the knee. So the difference, I think it might be easier if I show it this way. Don't want to lock the kneecap, right? So softness, doesn't have to be a big bend, but just make sure you're not locking out that joint. Now we have variations of coming into one foot, taking a weight and passing it side to side. And I realize the weight I usually use for that is not here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Forgot to get that out. Nothing like a live show is what I get to say every week. There's something. All right. So taking the balance to one foot or kickstand, feather touch that back toe. So if you can't hold the alignment as you pass, then just kickstand that back toe, slight bend in the base knee, and as you move the weight, you feel the center of gravity shift and things are going on in your foot, in the ankle and knee and hip. So about 10 passes. Nice deep breathing. Okay, going slow and feeling it out. And just being mindful that your toes aren't just super tight and actively crunching down. If you feel that, then just put your back toe down and try to open your foot posture as much as possible. And that's why doing it with the back toe touching the floor might be a good place to start if you can't control what's going on in the knee. And so just play with a few variations, and we got this exercise for a few reasons, not only balance, but the stability through your ankle, foot, and knee. It's a great one to do. Okay, next up, we'll go into a step out laterally. So I'm going to step out and sit my hips back on a count of 3, 2, 1, and then come back up to standing. Let's do 2 of these per side, and then decide if you want to do more with weight or keep it at body weight. So I step out, 3, 2, 1. My hips are going back. I'm not going knee forward, hips back, and try to slow that down. Now, if you want to add load, you could take a dumbbell and hold it sort of by the ends, or a kettlebell. And now choose your rep range. I would say 3 to 5 more of these. So I'm just 3, 2, 1, and come back up. I'm going to do 5. Taking time, pushing off, coming back to posture, standing tall. Good. Guys, nice to get some work through the side of the hip. Here we go. Other side. And last one. Good. Now let's go back to our balance shifts. So same exercise we just did. Taking your balance to one foot with a kickstand or not, and 10 passes. If you're finding this too easy and your foot's already off the floor, you could consider blinking more or closing your eyes for a pass. Stay safe. Reminder to check your foot posture, not too scrunched. Take some time, switch sides. Good. And we'll go right back into our second set of our lateral step with weight or without. A slow count down, 3 to 5 reps. 3, 2, 1. Back to posture. Find those shoulders. Looking good. Wonderful job. Okay, let's take it to the static lunge up and down 6 to 8 times. So this is where you split the stance, the back foot nice and straight. You can keep your heel off the ground and take some time to come down. You can keep your front knee over your ankle, or if you want to challenge your knee and pitch forward a little bit, as long as that feels okay and you can keep a fairly neutral back, then do that. And like thinking about the placement of your back toes. So you drop the back knee, get some bend in those toes. I'm really trying to keep my front knee from wandering, so it comes in line with the midfoot. I think those are the cues that will pretty much make this executed to the best of our ability. How's that sound? Wonderful. So next up, we go from this to the squat and press on one side. What weight can you press overhead? Because that's going to be your limiter, right? The press. So you want to find a weight that you know that works for that. Squat to a depth that feels comfortable. Press. And as you press overhead, being mindful that you're not into your neck. You're not shrugging. You're not leaning to the side or leaning back. Work those muscles and pull down. About 6 to 8 per side. Looking straight ahead. Good. Switching. Open the feet. Breathe in. You got it. Trying to pull down nice and even, not weight shifting to one side or the other. If you reach a rep that doesn't feel good, have you let your mind wander? Or are you at the point where you should call the set? Okay, water break if you need it. We'll go back through these two. So static lunge and squat and press. A little water. How are the weights that you used the first time? You know, did it give you that just right feeling after 6 reps, or was it too easy? Going slow is always a way to make things a little harder. So slow down, up, regular speed, or a little heavier weights. That a girl. squat and press. If you need another water break or just changing out the weight that you can press overhead, then do that. Excuse me. Okay. Staying present. Breathing in as you pull yourself down into your squat, nice and even. Being mindful of the shoulder press, how it feels. Working the up phase and the down phase. You got this. Trying to eat some vegetables that I don't usually eat on a regular basis. So when I was shopping yesterday, I bought some dark kale. Not that I never eat kale, but some red cabbage, some radishes. Good for my gut diversity. Hopefully that will inspire you to pick up something you don't normally eat in the veggie department. We're going to the get up next. Now, there's a couple clients doing the YouTube as a supplementary class, and some are at different levels with the get up. So today, if you know the full get up, you go ahead and do the full get up. I'm going to do the full one today, and some are still at a partial stage. And here's about a 1 pound ball. The setup is important, right? You want to be connected in your torso. So there's no big arch of the back. The shoulder, you can punch up to the roof and then just kind of connect your armpit and shoulder blade down. The angle here is individual. It takes practice to see where that arm should be. And as you come up, if you can't lift your weight, you have to make a little adjustment of your hand. That's totally fine. Now I'm taking my weight between my foot and my hand and pulling my knee through. And then just taking some time to sit into my hips and come to half kneeling. Adjusting my front foot and my back foot, tucking the toes, and just connecting my shoulders, making sure my posture's aligned. I stand up. I usually stare at something to help me with my balance, step back and get control of my toes, come down to a soft knee, take that front foot and open it up so you've got room to come down to your hand. Make sure your shoulder's not in a shrug position because you're taking that body weight through again, and then down to your elbow, and then rolling away to the floor. Halfway. If you've already done a full get up on both sides, perhaps you could do one more or consider a partial. And this is what I'd mean by a partial. You could come up to the elbow and back down. And if this is where your body is at, your strength is at, then just do that a few times on each side. Here's my hand position. Pull it in just a bit. Come through. Taking some time, anchored in my shoulder. Hips are tucked under, back toe. I'm not going to shrug up as I stand, so I'm anchoring in. Take a breath, stand tall. Focusing, step back, control of my balance, soft knee. Open up that front foot so I've got room to hinge down to my hand, kick through, elbow, and all the way back down to the floor. Okay, so hopefully that was a good review. As you go through the tape, you can try to practice those. We're on the floor, so we'll go to the seated row now. Excuse me. I think of the get up as a practice. There's no perfect get up. You just keep practicing speed, quality of your movement, how it feels through your shoulders and hips, and practice as much as possible Once a day is always a good idea. Takes about 2 minutes to do a get up on both sides, nice and slow. Here's my seated row. Get that tension just right. Doesn't feel quite even, so even it out. Elbows finish at the sides as you pull the shoulder blades together. Nice and tall on your sit bones. No shrugging. We got this, 12 to 15 reps. How hard is this for you? Modify the rep range based on how you're feeling. Okay, push-up variation on the floor, or some folks taking it up to the wall. Could be a plank hold, a mini push-up, a lower to the floor, or a full push-up. There's some beauty in going slow. Don't always have to do your max number of push-ups. Great choices, everyone there. Especially if you're having a day that you're feeling a little tired or something is a bit off. You can do slow reps, 1 or 2. We've got the McGill holds. Lying on your back, one leg is extended out. Find that connection here, that rib hip closure. Usually activates the core. You're going to leave your head on the floor or lightly support as you lift up. Watch that you're not lifting your head into flexion too much, just chin tuck and lift. A lot harder. Forehead level with the roof, but the chin is tucked and the movement and work is coming in through here. I'm supporting my head. I could take my hands off as long as the neck feels okay. Tongue on the roof of the mouth is that good trick for setting some deep neck stuff. Do you like that sound? I kind of did it again. But yeah, chin not flaring up, tension in the neck, lifting, holding for breath cycles based on how hard you're finding this. Nice deep breath in and out. Relaxing back down, matching your sides, and then we'll go back to the rope. Making sure the elbows finish at the sides, not way back here where you internally rotate your shoulder. Make it a little harder. Aim for 12 to 15 reps. Looking straight ahead. Good quality reps. Back to our push-up position, whether it's up at a wall or a piece of furniture. Think about creating tension as you pull yourself in. Those shoulder blades should be moving together and apart. So try to think about this as more than an arm exercise. The whole shoulder complex is working as you maintain your whole plank alignment from the crown of your head through your feet. And back over to 1 McGill. Aiming for 3 full breath cycles. Could be more, could be less. It's taking some time to relax the tension. Roll the head side to side. So there's that tension on, tension off component setting. Changing your top knee. Relaxing down. Okay, so I'm going to take us to finish in through our hip hinge and some curtsy lunges. The hip hinge can be done body weight with some dumbbells or with some heavier weights. This is what we want to be working towards, but you have to understand the technique first of the hinge, working the hip muscles and not rounding the back or extending the back too much as you come into that hinge. So a neutral back as your hips go to the wall behind you. And then as you stand up and get your posture, you can lightly activate your hip muscles. You could do this with some dumbbells, where I'm just going to take the dumbbells to just below my knees. I could go lower, but the thing is with the dumbbells, I would have to go pretty low to get to the floor, and that can be kind of hard on the back. So depending on keeping that neutral back and what your flexibility mobility is, when I see people doing dead all the way to the floor with little weights, there's often some not so optimal low back hip moves. The kettlebells, when you start to elevate your kettlebell, so you could put it on some blocks or magazines, then you don't have to go so far down to get to the weights. And of course, as you get bigger kettlebells, they have bigger handles. So lifting off the floor or even with those elevated is a good idea. Okay, so combining some deadlift with some body weight curtsy lunges, this puts our hips into a little rotation, gives them a good stretch, and works on kind of mobility of the hip. The better access we have to our joint range of motion, the better and more optimal we're going to be able to load our hips when we return to the deadlift, because you need some space. How else can we create space? The width of our feet, the angle of our feet. This is very individual. So kind of have to play with the different options. Hips back, make sure your back feels set. Take a breath in and lift. And control the lower with that idea that you're tipping the back. You're not bending or folding through the back. Anti-shrug the shoulders, hips back. Got my handles. Back feels good. Big breath in. Lift. Rebreathe. Lower. Got another one. Open. And close. So before we say goodbye, let's take it to one more set of those curtsy lunges. Just reinforcing the mobility of the hip. Get some good rotation there. Stay square to the wall in front of you. Everybody looked great today and worked hard, so thank you. It's always fun growing our strength together. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Feel free to reach out. Have a great day, everyone.